Back to Kinguin charity event winter edition 2015. This is an event that is being run for the sake of Child's Play Foundation, which is a foundation that gives, toys and video games to children in hospitals who are sick to help them have a better time of it. So we were in the middle of casting a match between Firebat and Dog, who Firebat right now is 2-0 up against Dog with his Druid deck alone. And that was a really dominating YOLO performance, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, definitely. The Druid, the way that Firebat built the Druid with the Undertakers, with all the death rattles, it was pretty much played like a Hunter deck, except it's as if Hunter had Innervate, which we all know is just a scary sight to behold.
Yeah, like picture a Hunter with Innervate or Savage Roar, and suddenly the last thing you want to do is face them. It's actually pretty strong. I really like the way the deck is built, but it suffers from the same problem that Hunter has sometimes, the lack of card draw. And it doesn't get the tempo that hunters get from traps. So it uses different tools to navigate its way to the exact same end, which is just kill the opponent. And Firebat has used his swipes to the face in the first game twice. Like 2 swipes to face. That is really, really hardcore.
Yeah, I guess the way you play that deck is basically you treat your swipes like kill commands to the face or as just your steady shot. One issue that the Druid has in comparison to the Hunter with that kind of deck is that it doesn't have that steady shot to deal 2 damage every turn. It basically does 1 damage every turn with its hero power.
But like Hunter, they both create a 2 health differential, but the Hunter at least kills you right away, as opposed to the Druid.
But we are going to see possibly the final game of the day. Firebat with the Druid once again, Dog with his Mage.
Yep, Dog. So this is Mage against Druid, and I'm not sure who's going to... Like, who has the edge here in this game, this matchup? He has double combo, so I feel like it's a lot easier if this is Freeze Mage.
Judging by Dog style, I know in the last tournament that he played, which was Battle of the Best, he played Freeze Mage, and I think it's, judging by the starting hand, it's going to be Freeze Mage once again. We see an Arcane Intellect and a Loot Hoarder.
Yep, looks like that's probably exactly that. So we skip the mulligan phase, but no problem, very standard mulligans. You keep Loot Hoarder and Arcane Int because you want to have your card draw. Actually, he threw back Arcane Intellect and got the Doomsayer and Arcane Int instead. Oh, and there goes the Innervate. Turn 2, Pilot Shredder. Dog is wondering why the world hates him so much.
Dog is like...
There's no answer, Dog.
Why did you draw an Innervate in every single game?
Yeah, and it's like those... I remember casting a tournament with Lothar where Druids kept having Wild Growth. And it was... We casted the game, the entire tournament, and all we could think of was... Oh, that was a Wild Growth. Well played. And it felt a little redundant. At least now it's mostly Innervate and not so much Wild Growth alone.
Yeah, well-growthed.
Yep, you've been Wild Growthed. Alright, so the Pilot Shredder will, with Wrath, kill the Doomsayer, but this is a pretty decent trade because it stalls off. It's not amazing, but it buys you a bit of time. And the Druid's hand is fairly slim until he finds his card draw.
Yeah, he essentially tanked 7 damage with that Doomsayer, which is, you'd rather kill the board, but I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, against a Death Rattle deck as well, the board is not really cleared in the way that you might like it to.
Okay, Harvest Golem goes down, and the Acolyte of Pain tanks another 4 damage for the Mage.
Which is actually really substantial. Oh, I like this. This hand is actually looking pretty... He's gotten a bit of draw out of this hand if he wants.
Yeah, right now
how early can the Druid kill him, really?
He has to decide, do I want to play this Doomsayer now? Or do I want to wait for a freeze to combo the Doomsayer with?
But then you know that Keeper of the Grove will still just ruin your day. Another Innervate. Not so useful right now, but that's a turn 7 Force of Nature Savage Roar combo.
Wow, Firebat's not drawing perfectly this game.
What is going on? I think he might just swipe face here.
It's certainly possible.
Yeah, you never know with Firebat. I remember there was a tournament that he played. Most of the tournaments he plays, he just... whatever. And it's kind of funny to see his reactions at times.
I feel like you have to... In this particular situation, you have to save the swipe, though, for a potential second Doomsayer plus a freeze.
Yeah, if you had Keeper of the Grove, it would be maybe acceptable to throw it very offensively, but as it is, not worth it at all.
Okay, and, Doomsayer from the Shredder, maybe?
He's hoping... Oh, wow, it couldn't get worse than this. How do you remove this? Dog, again, just punching his face with his palm. This is incredible.
Yeah, Dog just literally facepalmed right now.
Yeah, we saw him facepalm. This was a textbook facepalm right here.
Yeah, literally one of the best creatures Firebat could have gotten. It's a death rattle. It's sticky. What else could you want?
I guess, and there's a Doctor Boom on curve, on curve. At least if it's on curve, you can't kill yourself by fire, like, you know, flame striking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what tends to happen. Alright, this is a bit of a weird spot, but then again, Archmage Antonidas could be coming out with the coin. You know, he's been able to hold on to that coin for a while now. So if a Fireball kills a 4/5, and he plays Doomsayer, is that ever something you're happy about? I mean, Doctor Boom is going to be so annoying.
That's not too bad, but there's just so many death rattles on the board. I mean, it's a decent play, and you're kind of happy about it, but the end result still isn't the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to draw cards to make sure you can find those actual board clears or board freezes, but he hasn't found any yet, and you have to play around what you have at this point.
On the other hand, this actually does stop Dr. Boom from coming down on turn 7.
Unless double innervate is drawn.
Yeah.
Alright, it's not. Alright, actually, the Harvest Golem top deck allows him to develop the board even further and swipe. So that's actually even better for him in a way.
Yep. He saved swipe, and it seems to have paid off, swiping the Doomsayer as we predicted.
Ooh, this is getting a bit tricky here. That Alexstrasza could close the game earlier than Dog expected.
Mm-hmm. But does Dog actually just want a Antonidas coin?
Well, you almost want to coin out Alexstrasza, but I don't know.
I feel like this is okay.
Yeah, just to get the Fireball, but
I think the
Archmage Naked
Fireball. Yeah, Archmage is just such a threatening body.
Yeah, he has to dump a lot of cards into it, which is less cards that are going to be used for you. Yeah, okay, so one Force of Nature has been played here by Firebat, which is probably what Dog wanted out of the Archmage, just to tank some of the massive minion plays, like stop tempoing me to death, and have to deal with my threats for once. I'd like to be on the giving end of that. And that's pretty much what's happening right now, because there could be an Alexstrasza just getting coined out, which is going to force, again, the Druid to deal with Alexstrasza, and then the Mage has his second Ice Block, Pyroblast plays coming up. So Firebat is going to feel very threatened by Alexstrasza if she does come down.
Yeah, I think this is one of the weaknesses of the Death Rattle Druid right now. Imagine if these Harvest Golems were Shades instead of Harvest Golems. I mean, this game would be over. The Shades would be like 7-7 and 8-8 right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, against Shaman, of course, you'd rather have the Harvest, or against Paladin, for instance, but against this specific situation, I think you're just flat out right. Wow, Ancient of Lore comes with a heal. Not the heal, actually, he just draws cards.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he can actually win with the heal. Well, no, he's not dead.
He's not dead yet, but he's going to
use
die.
the coin.
Yeah, but he can't win. It's impossible, is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible for him to win right now.
Yeah.
Alexstrasza will just go to face, and then a Pyroblast next turn will finish him off.
You know what? Kazan Mystic.
Oh, Kazan Mystic. And you know what? Lotheb. How sick would that be? Next turn, Firebat somehow gets Kazan Mystic plus Lotheb.
Okay, you know what? Okay, that would just be... I think Dog would consider quitting Hearthstone right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen Lotheb in Firebat's deck yet, though.
Well, you know what? It's not a Death Rattle, so it doesn't belong.
It doesn't belong there, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just
Dog is
actually
actually...
face for the sake of it.
Yeah, I guess for the sake of not being... So you could deny, like, Savage Roar or something.
He still wins on Lotheb, though. So even if Lotheb is played, it still wins the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing good in Firebat's hand right now. And by nothing good, I mean nothing useful for this particular situation. Because we all know Sylvanas, Dr. Boom, Force of Nature, Undertaker, Sludge Belcher, all some of the best cards in the game.
Yeah, and it's funny how they're very good, but just right now not useful at all. And the interesting part is that even though he might have wanted to play around some of the burst of the mage, the Archmage Antonidas play, like the plays that he made with Doomsayer is just tanking damage, right? The first Doomsayer, the second Doomsayer, and the Archmage Antonidas just being put down, thrown in the way, saying, deal with me or I'm gonna kill you, instead of actually being immediate, you know, threats. They're just allowing for him to drop Alex Strasser later on to win the game, which I think is really interesting. He just tried to bide his time until he could drop Alex and hope that the Druid would not find a way to kill him. And it worked.
Firebat's basically saying, I hope you don't have any burn in your hand right now, but
any
Power
burn.
Blast.
Yeah, and the second ice block, like even if you pop the first one, second comes down and then you have to go through another layer of turns. And that's usually way too much to ask for.
Wow, and this is going to be very exciting. We actually don't have a 3-0 shutout by Firebat.
Yep.
As Dog takes the first game.
Yeah, and Firebat's mage, I believe, was banned. So, Druid. What's left is Hunter and Paladin, since Druid was eliminated. So Hunter, Paladin against mage. I think mage wins against Paladin systematically, almost. And Hunter, though, could be a big problem.
Yeah, it could be. But
Firebat's the kind of guy who puts flares because he can.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like these days, would you rather run Flare or Kazan Mystic, right?
Honestly, in a Hunter deck, maybe Flare. In any other deck, probably something else. I mean, he's probably. I think he's just throwing it. Like, I don't know. What do you play Hunter or Paladin? If you play Paladin, you're just taking a chance and saying, "Oh, well, maybe this will work." And if it works, then awesome. But if it doesn't, then you know, kind of as expected. So this might end up being a 2-2 if the usual matchup pans out to be what it usually is.
I raised the question